Hey folks, welcome to Test TV. Scott here. I'm going to go out and do some walleye fishing today. I'm going to show you a little bit of how I rig and my techniques. So stay tuned for some walleye fishing. So this is my spinner rig, and I can do a video on how to make these. This one I made a year ago. I found that blues and gold and white tend to be the key colors, so I put all those colors into this particular rig, and then I still get skunked from time to time. So you go with what you know. And anyway, you come up to this is the bottom walker itself, because this is going to be a three-way rig, and this is a 3-ounce weight. I find that in slower current you can go 2 ounce, or in faster currents you might want to go up to 4 or 5 ounce, but 3 ounces is usually where I start at. And you put on the bead chain swivel, and then this goes up to the main line, okay, to the fishing rod, and this piece over here comes out, and then again this goes right down to the spinner, okay. And then what I do is I put the worm on. I put the beak of the worm onto the first hook, and then the trailing hook, I put the trailing hook in the collar of the worm. And I keep it super simple. Some people use a worm threader. That's great. A buddy of mine uses a worm threader, and it works really well for him. I find that if I'm in a drift and I break off and I need to put a worm on fast, just putting the beak of the worm on this first hook here, and then the second trailing hook is onto the collar, makes it much faster, so I can get back in the water much quicker. So that's the first rig. The second rig is I'm using a diver off the main line. This is a 20-pound test main line. In this case it's mono. I usually use braid, but this is a diver I'm using. I usually use these for shad. And then I'm going to use a Rapala lure. These tend to work really well if I can get it to hold still, but this is a Rapala lure, and I might put some scent on it, and I'm just going to run this down till I touch bottom and reel up a few reels, and I tend to get some good hits with walleye on these Rapala lures. So let's get on the water and see if we can catch us a fish. So one of the tactics I have, if you're getting short bit and the fish is coming up and just biting off the tail of the worm, this is a slow death hook, and it's just bent. What you can do is just thread on the worm and then just pinch off the tail, and then this slow death hook will go around really slowly, and that will prevent those short biters. So let's try that and see if we can catch a fish. So we are on the Multnomah Channel. I have 2 lines in the water. On the channel we can fish 2 lines or 2 rods with your endorsement, and I'm just using a worm harness on a bottom walker, and I'll show you this whole rig right here. There we go. This is the bottom walker. This is a 3-ounce bottom walker, and this is the main line. I had the 20-pound main line. This particular is a mono, but I usually use braid. And then up from or attached to the bottom walker is my homemade spinner with beads on it, blue and white beads, and my night crawler. And I can see the way I like to rig up this night crawler. I'm just going to redo the rig here, or redo the crawlers. I'm going to take this trailing hook out, and I just put the worm on the beak, the first hook on the beak of the worm, and then the second hook at the collar, and I kind of just poke it through the collar like this, and then the rig straightens out on its own if I can get it wrapped around my main line. And I'll just put it back in the water like this, and you'll see that's about how it's supposed to look like, and it'll run through the water like that just fine. And the walleye think it's yummy, so I'm gonna send this down to the bottom after I turn the boat. I'm gonna give myself a little bit more speed. All right, I'm just gonna bring it down until I touch bottom. I'm in about 14 feet of water, and I might just bring it back up again to show. Reset my line counter. All right, I'm gonna bring it down slowly, and I'm using my thumb to control how fast I bring that line down. And right when you hit bottom, like right here, I'm at 17 feet. I have some blowback though, so about 14 feet of water, and then I just bring it up 1 or 2 reels, and I hang on to it. You can put it in the rod holder if you want to. I have a rod holder here, and you can put it in the rod holder. I like to hang on to it when I'm steering the boat. Quick check on my other rig. Nothing's on there yet. But I like to hang on to one of the rods while I'm steering the boat because I can feel the bites. So I want to talk a little bit about the structure. I'm fishing these pilings all the way down the channel here, and I've been picking up some smallmouth bass, but no walleye yet. Also a couple of catfish. So, but these walleye will hang out right behind these pilings. The river's coming down this way, and they'll pop out, suck up some fish, and then pop back in again. And this whole river is a conveyor belt of food for them. So that's why you want to look for structure and look for places where a walleye could be an ambush predator. So I'm trying to steer the boat and do the recording at the same time, and not quite working out. But I have a setup going on. The setup is two rods. In the Willamette, we can fish 2 rods. I'm gonna try and get off the water, or off the side of the bank here. And on this one, I may have a bite. Ew, I got a bite. Yep, I got a bite. Yeah, I'll slow the boat down a little bit. He's tugging pretty hard and I can't reel it up. There he comes. Oh, there's a jump, there's a jump, there's a jump. Looks like a sucker fish. I'm gonna reel up my other one. That was just on the, I don't know what it is. Let's see, come on. It's a walleye. It's a walleye. No, it's a bass. It's a walleye. It's a bass. I felt the tug on this one. Doesn't seem like a very big fish. Looks like a perch. Steer away from the dock. But, oh, it's a smallie, it looks like. Oh, come on, fish. Oh. That's another smallmouth bass. Not my target fish. But the bass this year and the perch have been pretty active. If I can get this thing off without... There we go. Bye, fish. All right, he took my bait. I have one rod fishing still. So I'm gonna re-rig or rebait. That's a small worm. Where's my big worm? There we go. All right. Well, I'm getting some action. Ooh, so I just got bit, and it was a short biter. You can see the worm got taken off. So I'm gonna put some more bait on. I'm not sure if you can see this, but right over here is Coon Island. We fished that point. We fished all up and down the side here. We picked up a couple of bass, but no walleye. And we just came down the other side of Coon Island. And now we're going down the cow pasture this way toward the Gilbert boat ramp. And I've been getting some hits and tugs and some short biters, but no walleye yet. I want to talk a little bit about the structure. I'm fishing these pilings all the way down the channel here, and I've been picking up some smallmouth bass, but no walleye yet. Also a couple of catfish. So, but these walleye will hang out right behind these pilings. The river's coming down this way, and they'll pop out, suck up some fish, and then pop back in again. And this whole river is a conveyor belt of food for them. So that's why you want to look for structure and look for places where a walleye could be an ambush predator. Using my other rod, we're going to get a big old wake. Wake is going to push me into the pilings, and I got another boat coming up at me. So that's another smallie. All right, so I just finished my first run. Went back upriver, and I'm turning the boat around. And I decided I'm going to use 2 fishing rods with worm harnesses. Come back in here. And oops, I'm gonna straighten the wheel out a little bit. All right. I'm gonna straighten the boat out. So this is what I'm using. Again, this is a 3-ounce bottom walker. It's not a bottom bouncer, it's a bottom walker. Has a wire that comes out here and it hits the bottom and it walks along the bottom. I have it attached to the main line, and then attached to the bottom walker is my rig, my spinner, and my worm. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this back in the water. Like that. Make sure the line isn't all wound up like it's already doing. There it goes. And it should be spinning just like this. I'll bring it up more. Just like that. And I'm just going to bring that down to the bottom after I give myself a little bit more speed. All right. Take it down until I hit bottom, like right now. And this time I'm just going to put the rod in the rod holder. and rig my other one up. On this one, I have a similar spinner in chartreuse this time. I'm using a number 2 bottom walker. And I'm not going to take this one all the way down to the bottom. Go back this way. Instead, I'm just going to feel the bottom and then bring it back up again. About 2 or 3 reels. There's the bottom. And I don't want to get this one snagged while I'm fishing 2 rods. So I'm going to let that one kind of be at the, maybe just above the bottom. And I'm in about 14 feet of water. Down here is a popular island called Coon Island on the channel. It's a well-known, very well-known walleye haunt for walleye fishermen. So I don't mind giving that one away, but the fish aren't always there. Keep in mind, walleye are migratory predators, and you do have to go hunt for them. So they may be in one place, like a Coon Island, or any place with structure one day and then gone the next. So you do have to go out and hunt for them. That's what I love about walleye fishing, is that is the hunt, because they don't put up a huge fight like a salmon does, or a saltwater marlin, or some crazy thing. Usually, I also found the bigger the walleye, the less they fight. So it really is the hunt that is the thrill for me for catching walleye, is going out and finding them. So, and I fish the basic places first, and then I look for structure. You can fish this left side of the Coon Island or down the right side, and I've caught fish on both sides of the island. You just have to be careful with yachts and other boats that are anchored, or not anchored, they're docked there. There's a little dock that people like to hang out on. So walleye love to be around those docks, especially right now. We have an outgoing current. There is some current here, and walleye like to get behind a post or a pole. They like to get behind pilings and put their nose into the current, and then just pick off fish and other critters that are coming down current, down river, kind of like a conveyor belt. So anywhere you can find structure where the current is going around and the walleye can go rest behind some structure and ambush their prey, that's where you want to fish. And I'm getting some ticks right now. Got a couple of bumps. That's another thing too. Anytime you feel a hit when you're walleye fishing, check your rig. You're 9 times out of 10 you're going to have to put more bait on when you feel that hit. Another really effective way of fishing this area is with a Rapala lure. And I have a Rapala lure right here. I've done really well with this color on a Rapala lure at the bottom. This lip here gives some wiggle action. This could be bite number 3. Oh, it's a bigger fish. Absolutely bigger fish. And then woo! That's a little bit bigger fish, not a lot. Caught him on the green spinner
starting to get smart. Taking off my leader from my bottom walker so I don't tangle. I can get back in the water faster. Not bad, huh? A little bit bigger. Not the big monster fish I've been looking for, but just wanna. This was a crawler harness. Caught it on. This was chartreuse with the worm. There you go. It looked like this. It has a wedding ring in the middle. And these are #1 hooks. So I caught 2 fish on this pattern, and then I had 1 fish on blue and gold, but I lost that. I sagged up and I lost it. See if we can get another one. Woo! Another bite. It's a fish. Right up there. Woo! All right. There you go. Crawler harness and with a night crawler. And we're at slack tide right now, so I think the bite's picking up. See if we can get another one. I want to show you this rig again. This is the chartreuse rig that caught most of the fish. Well, I caught 2 out of 3. And then my golden blue spinner, just like this, but golden blue, caught the 3rd one. Well, so far I got 3. We're looking for a 4th one. They're kind of slimy. And so stay tuned, see if we can pick up a 4th. So after I caught that 2nd fish, the boat behind me did a U-turn and started following me. I don't know if he's picked anything up yet, but it's just easier to fish with the wind. And we're at slack tide anyway, so there's still an outgoing current on the river, but it's not as strong. And I'm just going to keep on going upriver with the wind and seeing if I can pick up another one. So we're going to leave it at 3 walleye today. Had a lot of fun on the water, but it's starting to get dark, and I'm going to get these walleye home. I'm going to fillet them and make some fish tacos. All my walleye were caught with my homemade spinner rigs. Blue and gold and chartreuse were the ticket. My Rapala lures, don't know, usually they work really well, but nothing on the Rapala lures today. Fishing with the wind against the current was the right move. That was the most productive. I could control the boat much easier with the wind than going into the wind. Slack tide, that's another thing. Fishing at the tide change. Even though we're upriver and we're not near the coast, but at the tide change, that made a big difference. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If it is, please like and subscribe, leave some comments. I'm always looking for a fishing buddy, so maybe I can meet someone and go do some walleye fishing or salmon fishing, sturgeon fishing, or bass fishing. So I just want to do one more look at the walleye. These are the 3 walleye caught today. And these 2 were caught on the gold and blue spinner, and then this one was caught on the chartreuse spinner. and I can do a rig rundown here in a little bit. I had a really good time. I'm going to fillet these up and have some fish tacos. So if this was helpful for you, please like and subscribe.
So back here at the house, I wanted to share some of the patterns that have been working for me today. These are the crawler harnesses that have been successful patterns. This one is a number 3 Colorado blade that is stamped with those little polka dots in them, and that's a 5 and 6 millimeter beads in white chartreuse blue with a number 2 hook. That's a combination of most of the successful colors, so that's kind of why I made that pattern, and it's been catching fish. The next one is white. If I can bring this up a little bit higher. The white pattern, these are number 6 white beads, and in the middle I think they're number 4 or 5 millimeter glow beads. And so white's been a really good pattern for murky water. And this is also on a number 3 Colorado blade that's silver. This one tends to be my go-to pattern. This is the blue and white. The blade itself is that gold, yellow, and blue. I love that color. It's been getting quite a few fish. I make this pattern all the time. The blue, white, and blue pattern on the beads. Again, those white beads are glow beads, and number 2 hooks, I threw in a chartreuse bead in the middle just for funsies. These 3 have been winners today. Sometimes other patterns, are the ticket, but what I'm showing you is, these are patterns, but these aren't the actual rigs oftentimes that have been productive because I've lost them. And if you're not fishing, if you're fishing for walleye and you're not losing gear, you're not fishing for walleye. You have to get your rigs out there and risk losing them. So a lot of people, try really hard to save their rigs and stuff. Sometimes if you get hung up, you can go back up river and unpin your hook from a log or something. But if you're not gonna, if you're not looking to lose gear, you're not going to be walleye fishing, and you're not going to have a lot of success. You really got to get in there. It's not for the faint of heart. Let's talk about smile blades. This is one of my new favorites, especially in slow moving water. These blades will spin if you're just using a bow mounted trolling motor and going really slow, whereas these thicker Colorado blades, you need more speed to make them spin properly. Okay, the smile blade, not so much the case, but with the Colorado blades, they make a thump, thump, thump in the water. And it's kind of like ringing the dinner bell. The fish can feel it on their lateral lines. Smile blades, maybe not so much. There's not a lot of thump there, probably none. But the fish can see it, and it does trigger strikes. And especially in slow moving water, or if you're trolling super slow on a subtle bite, I switch out to these smile blades, and I'm starting to do really well with them, and they're becoming my new favorites. I store these homemade rigs with a pool noodle, and as you see, I need to tie up more, but I cut the pool noodle to size to fit in my Plano case like that, and I can put like 7 or 8 crawler harness rigs on each pool noodle, and that's about 24 rigs, and that gets me through a whole season oftentimes. I also use these Rapala lures in various colors, and green, chartreuse are very popular colors. Compared to these crawler harnesses, these Rapala lures can be pretty spendy. They're up to around $9 or $10 now, sometimes more. So if you're walleye fishing and you're afraid to lose these things and you don't want to lose them, maybe don't use them, because again, if you're walleye fishing, you're going to lose gear. You have to be on the bottom. The walleye are belly to the bottom, oftentimes on the riverbed, so you have to have your rig down where they can see it and ambush it. This pattern here is a perch pattern. I do really well with this. If I'm going to use, if I can focus, if I'm going to use a Rapala lure, this is going to be my go-to perch pattern right here. I start with this one first, and then these bisected patterns do really well also. Chartreuse is always a winning color, and these blue I tend to do pretty well with them later in the day, or when it's darker out, maybe super cloudy or just a darker day, especially if I'm fishing in September, October time frame, you know, when it gets darker faster and it's just not as bright out around Portland. So anyway, these are my patterns. I would love to know what your patterns are, if you want to share any, or put some comments into the comments section, and I'll see you on the water. Thanks for watching.